Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing good. This is the follow-up video from the shorts that I've made over the last month. Told you guys that I had shoulder surgery. It was pretty limited in what I could do. And I started out to tell you that I was redoing my intermodal yard. And this is what I used to do it. These are these Cato Unitram Freight Depot set, okay? And this is the extension. I had to use 2 of these and 2 extensions to get my yard done. With just a single freight yard, I was like about 6 inches too short. And when I got the extension, the extras, I mean, it took me out about 4 inches longer, which was fine. I have plenty of parts left over. I will come back and tell you what I'm going to do with those in a minute. So anyway, working with one hand, I wasn't able to hold down a straight edge to cut the balsa wood out. So I took a box cutter, I marked it, and tried to cut it as straight as I could. There's a few gaps, so I had to use some wood putty to close it in, to close in the gaps. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. This was a pretty big project, and again, trying to do this limited with the use of one hand. I can raise this arm now and do things, but a few weeks ago it was pretty difficult. But the recovery's going well, PT's going well, and hopefully everything will be back together fairly soon. I mentioned the extra pieces of track that I have. I have 3 sections of this track. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have some street running going on over here on this side of the track. That area is doing the same thing that my intermodal yard did. Certain locomotives will roll down through there, other ones belly out. I'm sick of that happening. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to cut this thing, because this comes apart down the middle. There we go. So what I'm going to do is cut this down through here and make it a single track and put it down in the middle of my street, and that should take care of the problem of trains stalling. I mean, you want to run scale speed running through town, and if I slow down lots of my locomotives, the ones that stall, they will stop. Very aggravating. So there's a chance I might repeat myself in some of these segments of this video because I'm doing this over a few different days, different sections of it. So if I do, please disregard or just omit those things. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to show you the completed work that I did. Okay, so I'm going to start down on this end and show you. This used to be just a single lead coming in right here. Since this Cato is 2 tracks, I had to pick up a Pico curved turnout and put it in there. And I put a ground throw in there to switch it, and it's working really well. So come on around, and they both tie in. Now, this kit comes with a reducer piece that fits right here to bring the track in, because this is kind of tight. I didn't use it because I didn't have the space to put it in there. And you can see where this is a little bit longer than the end of my yard, which is fine with me. It worked out okay. Ran it down as straight as I could, put a straight edge on there, and put it down. Now, someone might be asking, how did I mount this? Since these pieces pop up in the middle, I found some real small screws and popped them in there. Let me see if I can take this out to show you guys. Okay, so I have a real small screw. This is a interior door that I'm using underneath this portion of the layout, so I had to use screws. Otherwise I would have just used a regular tacks that I use to mount your track down. And this has an arrow so that you put it back in the right direction, and just just pop it back down in there. So that's what's holding it down. I just have one screw on each end. It's nice and tight. The other thing I had to do, since this was a single track on the other arrangement that I had to bring in another track on this side. I was racking my brain trying to figure out what I was going to do. I tried to put a switch up here, but it wouldn't line up right. There was going to be a kink in it. So I had a couple extra a left and a right hand turnout, number 6. So I decided to put it in up here. So I have 2 tracks coming out of the intermodal yard now. It's a bit of a curve in it, but it's not too bad. I mean, it worked out okay. And the trains roll out of there nice and smooth now. Again, very happy with how it turned out. And after testing it a few times and running trains out at slow speeds, it looks more realistic. So here is the finished intermodal yard, because all of this had to be repainted. I wanted to match the color of the Cato track that I put down. So you see I have my yellow K-rails down for markings for the in and out, and I kind of blended it pretty good as far as the paint, trying to match this with that. What I did is I took a section of track with me to Lowe's and had them match it, and I painted it down, and it actually is pretty close, very close. So the markings are the decals, or actually stickers, that came with the kit. I cut them out with scissors and put them down. I've gone back and tried with a straight edge razor blade and trim them up some so you don't have the film. Of course, it's harder to do around the letters. I'm not gonna do that, but very happy how this turned out, and the trains run very nicely down through the yard. I'm gonna start up both of those trains here and pull them out of Ward Yard, and they'll be rolling at probably a scale speed like they would be coming out of a yard, not, you know, not a racetrack. It's obvious the second locomotive coming out of the yard doesn't have sound. Again, I am really happy with how this revamp of my yard turned out. really gets your juices going and you want to show it off now. So hopefully I'll be having some visitors coming by soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.